The following is brought to you by Bleacher Report. If you guys want to check out my live post-game reaction show, make sure to have the Bleacher Report app downloaded and ready to fire up right after the game. You'll find me in the Chargers section. Bolt up.
Kyoto, Bolt fam, Chargers fans, cheeseheads of America. We are going to have a stream today, I tell you. This was definitively, to me, probably the worst game of the season for a lot of different reasons. And I think the biggest one for me, obviously, is going to be the defense. Okay, we got a lot of work to do in this stream today. A lot went wrong for the Chargers this week. But I think majorly this team is a disorganized mess that needs better leadership is what's kind of going to be the overarching theme of this video. So you guys in the Chargers, or I should say in the chat and below, please let me know some of your biggest frustrations from today's game. If you're a Chargers fan, if you're a Packers fan, maybe some of your biggest moments. But we're going to be talking a lot about this game and what the Chargers ultimately need to do to right the ship, not just for this season, but very many future seasons to come, because this is one of the biggest fumbles at head coach I've seen in a long, long time. There is no excuse. There is no excuse. You know what? We're going to go off script here a little bit today. All right. When it comes to these Bleacher Report videos, I like to go off to the stats and start breaking things down right away. I'm actually just going to jump to the biggest point I want to make in this video today, because you guys, a lot of you guys watched the game. You're here coming to see the reaction. You know the results, the score, how things went down. The elephant in the room for me, at least in my perspective, is going to be just how truly awful the Chargers situation is at head coach right now. And if you guys watch my channel, right, where we produce Chargers content, for the past several years, I was optimistic about the Staley hiring. At first, things seemed like it was maybe moving in the right direction, but my word, the last season and a half have been downright awful. And this game perfectly embodies exactly why the Chargers would be wise to leave Brandon Staley in Green Bay before returning to Los Angeles. Get him a nice mid-level B&B, maybe free Wi-Fi, breakfast, HBO, that's it. Maybe even give him a bunk bed, one for Quentin Johnston, which I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little bit harsh today, but I am ticked off at what I saw today on the football field. I am ticked off. Brandon Staley was hired behind one idea, and that idea was, we're going to make this defense so good that Justin Herbert's going to have all the help that he needs to win football games. He's not going to have to go put the entire team on his back week after week, putting on a Superman performance, an MVP performance, just to keep us in the game within 3 points. We won't have to do that because we hired a defensive-minded head coach in Brandon Staley, who led the best defense in the league in 2020, which, mind you, had a terrible schedule in terms of quarterbacks. There weren't very many good quarterbacks that defense had to go up against, so it might have been a mirage this entire time. So we hire Brandon Staley, the defensive-minded genius at head coach. Not only that, the Chargers doubled down. We said, hey, man, here's a blank check with our names on it. Go out and hire whoever you want that fits your system. We are committed 100% to this idea of an elite defense. And meanwhile, mind you, on the opposite coast of the country, we have a man by the name of Robert Saleh kind of getting the same treatment, but a completely different result. So here comes Brandon Staley spending a ton of money. I think maybe the most, if not very close to the most money in the entire NFL on defensive players, hand selecting players that have played in the Vic Fangio / Brandon Staley system. Some of them a lot of money, some coming in big trades that we're not normally, used to seeing as Chargers fans. Khalil Mack, not a normal transaction you see for the Chargers, be it a good signing still. We got guys all over the roster, lots and lots of money. J.C. Jackson was a huge bust, trying to get that number one cornerback. Lots of money. Hand-selected talent. You would even say superstars strewn across the entire defense. So we hire this man who's a defensive genius. We give him all the money, all the tools, and what do we get as a result in 2023? The worst defense in the entire NFL. The worst defense in the league. Sure, we got some strengths here and there. Run defense isn't as bad as it used to be. The pass rush is reasonably good, but what does it matter if your pass defense is so putrid that Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers puts up a career day over 300 yards in a game-winning performance versus this star-studded defense led behind a defensive-minded head coach. I want to be clear, this is not against Brandon Staley, the person, his personality. It feels like him and I would jive off the field. But at this point, man, I am done. I'm a nice guy. I've been going to bat for Brandon Staley for a while. I'm done. There is just absolutely no excuse for this. Absolutely no excuse. You got the money, you got the players, you got the benefit, you got the trust, you got the power, you got the control. And it led to not a bad defense, no, the worst defense in football. 300 yards by Green Bay is unacceptable through the air. Maybe if Aaron Jones didn't get hurt and a lot of that came through the ground, okay, whatever. But through the air, come on. And again, this is no jab at Jordan Love either. I think he potentially could turn out okay for the Packers. But this season, it didn't look like he was that guy. This game, he was that guy. Matter of fact, most quarterbacks that we play are that guy for that week and that week alone because of how bad the Chargers defense is. And this week is especially tragic because the defense didn't just let us, the Chargers fans, down. I'm let down. I'm let down pretty hard. I am ticked off. I'm saddened. I'm emotional at this loss. Again, it's not hate towards the Green Bay fan base or team or anything like that. It's massive disappointment from the leadership of this team. I'm not the kind of guy that goes out and says, hey, man, let's do something dramatic. Let's turn the season on its head, go into uncharted waters, uncharted territory, and fire a head coach mid-season. That's a bold move for any organization. That's a bold move. This season, it's got to happen. I'm sorry. It's got to happen. We have a capable interim head coach in Kellen Moore. It's done. How much worse can it get? Honestly, on the defensive side of the ball, we're the worst in the league. How much worse could it possibly get? There's also another storyline, and again, I take this with a grain of salt. I don't know the facts behind all of this, but there was something that happened pre-game where Brandon Staley wanted the players to wear some kind of special cleat that the players seemed to be not super stoked about, but they did it anyway because that's their fearless leader, head coach. And we saw players dropping like flies this week, including one of my favorite players in the NFL, Joey Bosa, writhing in pain. I think the last we heard was that it's an Achilles injury. Could end his season, likely does. How much of the factor did that decision have to play in it? I don't know. Maybe these are things that you never hear about, and just because it's Brandon Staley, it's starting to get pushed out into the foreground. Or maybe it's not. We've seen decisions like this all over. Ultimately, the biggest decision, or I should say the biggest reason I want to move on from Brandon Staley right now is because he's given every opportunity to make this an okay defense. Not even a great defense, just an okay defense. It's so bad. And then on top of that, you've got coaching decisions in terms of going for it at the wrong time, at not going for it at the right time, personnel decisions that's made me scratch my head the past couple of years. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm a Chargers fan that's been through the woodworks for, what is it now, 15, 16 years. I want this team to finally just make the right call, man. Stop digging around for these maybe, could be, would be, should be coaches, and let's get a guy in there. Let's at least give the dude on our staff in Kellen Moore a chance to prove himself, because maybe we got something there. Let's give him the rest of this season, see what we have. If not, what? Well, we got coaches that might be available, like Bill Belichick, which some people are very against. I'm not super on board with that, but I wouldn't hate it. I would certainly like it more than the Brandon Staley show that we have going on right now. You got guys like Jim Harbaugh. I'm still going to defend my opinion on wanting Sean Payton. I know a lot of people say, oh, whatever. I think his situation would have been way different had he come to the Chargers. I think both those situations would have benefited way more. You got to be brave. You got to make that big boy decision. You got to make a change at leadership because it is blatantly obvious that there are fundamentals missing from this football team that is causing chaos and confusion and ultimately embarrassments like we saw today. You let down your fans hard, and you continue to do that every day that Brandon Staley is leading this team. You know who you also let down this week? Justin Herbert. Herbert the last 2 weeks is turning into MVP mode Herbert, putting this team on his back, literally running, risking his life, his career, to get first downs to keep drives alive on his own. The defense is offering no help. There are several situations, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 20, that the defense couldn't help. We played soft. We're out-coached. Justin Herbert's out there alone. Him and Keenan Allen, we'll say. Him and Keenan against the world. That's not the way that this football team should be ran. I'm sorry to be venting like this, guys. I'm upset. It just doesn't feel right. I love my players. I do. I was gutted when Joey Bosa went down. I'm still gutted right now. He's one of my favorite players. Justin Herbert's turning into that guy. We saw him emotional today. You don't see him emotional very often. It's turmoil in there. Keenan Allen's a future Hall of Famer. All these players deserve better. They at the very least, deserve an organized coaching experience, which right now it feels like chaos. How are they going out there not knowing their assignments? How are they going out there not knowing who's picking up who? How are they going out there playing so soft over and over and over again, trying to fix the same problems over and over and over again, like insane people? How does this continue to happen? Let's take a look at some of these stats, dude. You guys if you guys are fans of my YouTube channel, I've been there a long time. And you guys know that for a long time, I've maybe only had outbursts like this a couple of times in 3 years on that channel. This must be a pretty significant one for me to not only just do that hit there, but like on Bleacher Report. Hi, Bleacher Report. I know my producers are watching. Sorry if I'm a little bit of a downer. Sorry if things are a little heated today, but man, I'm a big Chargers fan. I'm very passionate about this team, and they are letting themselves down. They're shooting themselves in the foot every day. The leadership is this bad. Stats. We'll start with the Packers. Jordan Love, which again, I actually went through his stats during my live stream, and I think the most that he had ever had before was like 250 yards, somewhere like that. Today, a career day. Passer rating of 108.5. 2 touchdowns, 322 yards. I wonder how many of those yards came on 3rd down, 4th down even. A disaster. A disaster. Now, I don't know where to hold Jordan Love in regards of, level of talent that we've seen this season. The Chargers have taken down aggressively some bad quarterbacks this year. Zach Wilson, Tyson Bagent. I didn't know where to really place Jordan Love. I even said in my preview video, who knows what happens? Jordan Love could have the best game of his career, or if he's in that tier of quarterback, we should be able to keep a nice cap on him. Nope. Jordan Love goes out there and looks like Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay fans are probably ecstatic. I'm sorry to all the Chargers fans that were out there in Green Bay this week, guys. I have a lot of friends that were out there this week that are probably very sick to their stomachs. This is one of the most blatant and obvious displays of lack of leadership I've seen on this team in a very long time. Rushing. We let Jaden Reed off for 46 yards and a touchdown. This team was down to 1 running back at one point. Hopefully, what's his name? Wilson and Aaron Jones. Hopefully those guys recover. I hate seeing injuries. I hate it on both sides. Hopefully those guys are okay. That rushing attack was definitely not hurt. Chargers did do a good job at kind of holding it down, but the passing defense was just so bad. This guy, Wicks, is it Datavian Wicks? I can't remember his name. 91 yards on 3 receptions. That's so bad. Romeo Doubs, 53 and a touchdown. Everybody got a piece of the Chargers defense this week. Jaden Reed was a crazy person. 46 through the air, 46 on the ground. Dude's nuts. We let the rookies run all over us today, dude. Tucker Kraft, one of my guys from the draft, had a decent day. He was a great blocker out there. Luke Musgrave, another one of my guys. He's kind of dicing them. I would say more on converting downs. Christian Watson, Yeah, not very many yards, but he came up clutch in that corner pocket touchdown that the Chargers just looked so lost on. Oh, it gets me so aggravated. That play in particular was so indicative of how bad this defense has been this year. Just so bad. So bad. And who am I? Just so you guys know, I'm not an X's and O's guy. I'm not a football analyst. Bleacher Report called me up because I got a nice Chargers YouTube channel. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan. My play calling ability goes as far as Madden. That's it. I mean, of course, I know more. Obviously, I'm underselling myself a little bit, but I'm just some Yahoo. I would never let that happen in Madden. My eyeballs show me that the same thing that we keep doing over and over and over again is just not working. The players are coming out and saying, yo, we keep trying to fix the same mistakes over and over and over. Why aren't we doing anything about it? Packers had a day. Defensively, they had a day too. I'm not going to say they had a day. I knew that their defense was going to be decent. I was hoping, honestly, at my score prediction, I think it was 26 or 28-16. So I knew that the Chargers offense would be okay because of Justin Herbert. The defense was definitely putting up a good fight, though. The pass rush was a bigger factor than I was hoping it would be. 2 sacks, a lot of pressure this week. Justin Herbert flushed out of the pocket so many times. The same line that didn't allow a single sack versus an Aiden Hutchinson-led Lions defense was all over Justin Herbert this week. Injuries galore. Just what a mess. What a mess. What about the Chargers? Is there anything good that we can pull from this chat? Is there anything good that we can pull from this today? Here's the good. Here's the main highlight for good. Okay? And Chargers fans, let this sustain you for your remaining time as a Chargers fan. A lot of us for life. Me, certainly. Justin Herbert's going to be a heck of a quarterback for this team for many years. 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, definitely not bad. A good effort by Justin Herbert. When you really look into those plays specifically, though, and how many of those plays were so pivotal to the Chargers even having a chance at this one, you'll be like, wow, he really did put on the MVP performance again. When you really look at this, guys, 21 out of 36, 21 completions, 36 attempts. How many drops were this week? Quentin Johnston dropped the game-winning touchdown. We're getting to that. Keenan Allen had a couple of uncharacteristic drops. The announcers say it's because of the sun. Whatever. You got to come up with that. Donald Parham had dropped the first down. Drops all over the place. Putrid. Then Justin, not only that, has to go carry this team on his back for 73 yards on 8 carries, yo! 8! Justin Herbert's our running offense. Justin Herbert's our passing offense. Can we please help him out? The only guy helping out right now, which, yeah, okay. No, the tight ends are stepping up. Got to give them some recognition. Keenan Allen, though, that's his sidekick, his partner in crime. Another 10 receptions, 116 and a touchdown. You can't ask more from a 31-year-old wide receiver. He's out there putting in the work with Justin every single week. But it feels like that's all we have. Let's get to it, boys and girls. Let's get to it. The receiving stats of the Chargers' Week 11 performance. Tight ends, Keenan, you guys are solid. You're immune this week. This is what we're talking about. Quentin Johnston, 6 targets, 2 receptions, 21 yards. Man, this absolutely kills me to say out loud. I hate that these words are about to come out of my mouth, but Quentin Johnston is a huge disappointment in 2023. Now, let me explain, okay? Some people will say, yeah, he's a bust. Right now, yeah, sure. For 2023, I'll go ahead and say, sure, whatever. I think it's still too early to say as a career whether or not that happens. Mike Williams took some time. He turned out to be a pretty great Charger. I'm not going to go out and say throw him in the dumpster out back. He's done. Like, I think he's a rookie. He might need some more time to learn. This season, however, you know how frustrating it is to see other players that, not just me, and again, I'm just some Yahoo on YouTube, but not just me asking for, but a lot of Chargers fans. One benefit that I have from running a big Chargers YouTube channel is that I get to see perspective, a lot of it. I read your guys' comments. I got a presence on Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. I really get to see what a consensus opinion looks like for the fan base. And consensus opinion, mine included, by the way, at pick, was it 21 last year? I think a lot of us wanted Zay Flowers. I would say most of Chargers fans wanted Zay Flowers at that pick. That's super fair. I think the Ravens right after us went on to get Zay Flowers. And he's killing it, dude. Imagining that speed with Justin Herbert is very exciting. Didn't happen. We can kind of make it work with Darius Davis. That was a good pick. But Zay Flowers was kind of the consensus want of the Chargers fandom. Then there was me. I really wanted Dalton Kincaid. He's out there killing it with the Buffalo Bills. Chargers need that bona fide tight end one. I get that the tight end position isn't as bad this year, but just imagine how much of a difference that he could have made with us this season. Even at receiver, line up Kincaid out wide as much as you want. That dude's a receiver playing tight end. He would have been fine. That's who I want. Instead, we got Quentin Johnston, who I wanted to give, and Addison. Yes, I see you in the chat. Addison's killing it too. So many first-round receivers are just killing it out there in the NFL their first season. And that's the era of NFL that we live in now. If you're a first-round receiver, you're going to contribute year one. There's no time to waste anymore. And a lot of the times, it translates very well. We're kind of in this new era of wide receiver where we're seeing guys like, Justin Jefferson pop off and Jamar Chase. All these young guys are taking over. Now, I get why the Chargers went after Quentin Johnston. He's got desirables. He's got the size. He's got the speed. But holy crap, if the hand's been a problem. And that highlights maybe the ultimate frustration I had in this game outside of the coaching. Justin Herbert sets up this, and by the way, Kellen Moore set up this play beautifully. Quentin Johnston beats his man finally on the outside. Justin Herbert recognizes it, throws a perfect pass right in the breadbasket. And Quentin Johnston, who had a game-winning touchdown in his hands, drops it. Flat out drops it. That would have won us the game. At very minimum, Chargers kick a field goal, game goes on. But no, he had beat his guy by 2 or 3 steps. That would have gone for a tutty. Chargers win. We're having a different discussion on Bleacher Report today. What an ultimate representation of our failures this year. And again, I got to give Quentin some benefit of the doubt. He's young. He's going to be on that jugs machine for the next 30 days straight with no breaks, I'm sure. Right? And I'm sure that he's going to start figuring stuff out, become a better weapon for this team going forward. I just ask myself, why can the fans, and ultimately me, who's just a fan, see so much more than these guys that go to work 9 to 5 every day studying? This is their life. This is their bread and butter. This is everything to these guys. Why are us, the fans, consistently pushing the better narrative than the decisions made by the team? I don't know. I really don't know. And a part of you wants to give them the benefit like this. Again, this is their job. I'm not going to step in and tell them how to do their job. They know this way better than I do. I get on YouTube, I talk, but I'm not in the war room. I'm not in the locker room. I'm not in the film room. Like, I'm not there. So what do I know? Yet, what do I know? And what do you guys know? How are we constantly betting on the right guy and the Chargers not? What's going on? Are we smarter? No. Do we have maybe a simpler perspective? Maybe. Maybe simplicity is the key here. Leadership's really bogging me down right now, man. I feel so bad for Justin Herbert. We got a great future Hall of Fame quarterback on our team right now. We got a great future Hall of Fame wide receiver on our team right now. I think we might have a couple pass rushers and maybe a safety on the defensive side of the ball at some point. Certainly not from this season. We got players and human beings and athletes that have been dreaming since they were little kids to go out there and hoist the Lombardi, having their time and talent wasted. And that's on the Chargers leadership. Y'all got to cut this out. Y'all got to cut this cancer out. I'm sorry. Again, nothing personal to Brandon Staley. I hate talking about this because this is somebody's job. They have a family, right? I have a family. This happened to me. I got laid off during the pandemic from a job I loved. I have a family and kids. Sometimes circumstances just call for it. It's out of your control. It doesn't make me a bad employee. It doesn't make me a bad person. Nothing personal against me. Me and my ex-employer are on good terms. It was what it was. It wasn't right for the time. It just wasn't something appropriate. And I feel that way right now with Brandon Staley. I'm official. Like, I've been kind of wish-washing, playing the fence a little bit. I'm there, man. It's done. I'm done. I'm done. There's too many things playing against him right now. He's had all the opportunity in the world. And ultimately, we have the worst defense in the league. We are what now, 4-6, and we have a Hall of Fame MVP caliber quarterback on our team that is visibly becoming more frustrated by the week. I know a lot of you guys, I see you in the comments saying, until Spanos is gone. I get that. I'm with you. I get it. That's not something that's likely to change anytime soon. What can change soon is the coaching. Leadership needs a massive, massive change as soon as we can muster it, because, oh my Lord, watching Herbert and these talented Chargers players go downhill so fast and aggressively is indeed breaking my heart as a fan. They deserve better. And you know what? We deserve better as Chargers fans. Especially if you guys have been, there's so many of you that have been around longer than I have, right? I've been around 15, 16 years. Some of you guys around 30 plus years. When is it going to be your turn? When is your time? When will the leadership understand that you got to make these tough decisions? Big boys playing a big boys game need to make big boy decisions. And this is a big boy decision that needs to be made. Fix your leadership. If I had a vote in it right now, Kellen Moore is our head coach when we wake up in the morning. Figure out the defense, whatever you got to do. It's time for a change. Well, Chargers fans in the chat, I hope this has been at least a little bit therapeutic for you. It's been a tough week. This is the week it kind of spilled over for me. I'm done making excuses for Staley, et cetera, et cetera. Again, I'm just some Yahoo on YouTube, so what do I know? But as a fan, I am fatigued from all of this nonsense on the leadership side of things. This is a professional football team, multi-million-dollar organization. We got to at least know what we're doing in terms of organization on the defensive side of the ball. Hopefully that happens sooner than later. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on Bleacher Report. Tough day for Chargers fans. We have a saying on the channel: be mad today, bolt up tomorrow. Might need a few extra days of being mad this week, but I definitely will be seeing you guys next week. Get ready for another tough one. Chargers, Baltimore Ravens. Hold on to your butts, Bolt fam. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Much love to you guys. We'll catch you guys next week.